So when I first start riding a horse in a leverage bit with two hands, I have my reins like I did with the snaffle, thumbs pointing up, and I just move my hands like they were one, okay? When I put my reins into one hand, split reins go with the tails on the left, index finger goes straight down. If I need to help my horse a little bit, I take my index finger out and put it next to my other three fingers. I take my other three fingers and put them in the reins, and then I can pull and get quite a bit more direct rein pull because I have more fingers between the reins. It's more like a two-handed pull. If I need to go the other way, I already have my index finger down between the reins. I just point it out, and that'll give me more direct contact with the direct rein. If I was riding in Romal reins, I'd have the reins coming up from the bottom up. I'd have my Romal in my right hand, my thumb on top. If I wanted to do what we call slip the reins, I'd pull with my Romal to pull the reins up, and then I would allow one rein or the other to slip back. This way I have my bubble on my left rein. That would mean that my left rein would be shorter and would have direct contact when I move my hand to the left. If I did it the other way and I pulled my reins up and allowed my left rein to slip, then my right rein would be the shorter rein, and I would have direct contact when I moved my hand to the right. When you show with Romal reins and you slip a rein, it's a 1-point penalty every time you're seen. If you put fingers between the reins, you're disqualified. So, you know, you have to decide if it's worth a 1-point penalty to try to help keep your horse correct, but never put your fingers between the reins. When you're showing in the reining and you're showing with split reins, you can crawl up the reins. By crawling up the reins, I mean I hold my left rein with my fingers and I inch my way up to get my right rein shorter. Now when you do that to help direct your horse's nose, you kind of have to shake it back out to get your reins even again. If I wanted to crawl up my left rein, I would hold my right rein with my thumb and index finger, and I would crawl up my left rein, making my left rein shorter. And then I would need to shake it out again. Mario Boisjoli once said the difference between an open rider and a non-pro rider is that the open rider's reins are uneven for a reason. Now, we have other body parts of our own that can help this process while the horse is trying to learn how to steer with the neck rein. So if I'm walking forward and I'm squeezing with both of my feet and I'm getting ready to turn to the left, it really is a rein exercise. So I am going to lift my hand up. The right rein will come in contact with her neck, but I might use my left foot here just a little teeny bit to make her look toward it. I am squeezing with my right foot a little bit to make her keep going, and I am using my butt. But for right now, the reins are really the most important thing because we're trying to teach her to move off this neck rein. And by having my hands up here, I can kind of stick my finger here and make her nose follow first, or I can kind of stick it this way if she gets a little bit confused. I have a little teeny bit of right leg here right now, right at the cinch to get her nose, but really I'm doing most of it with my reins, and I'm using my left leg a little bit to keep her moving, and I'm just kind of picking up my hand and moving her over where I want her to be. Now, because we want our reins relaxed and fairly long, sometimes when you go to pick up on the horse, say to just stop and back, you end up with way more rein than you really want, and you really don't want to have to pick your hand up super high. So you can then take your right hand and back your horse up off your right hand. I call this karate chopping the reins. Because I like to ride around on a loose rein, I want my horse to be real relaxed, but then when I go to take a hold of him, sometimes I can end up way up here. So I'll come with my right hand and I'll make them back up off of the rein like this, or I can even grab a hold with my right hand and make them steer, and then as soon as they're steering correctly, I can let them go again right away. Okay, it beats trying to scramble up your reins. Like if you're riding in a Romal, it's real easy to pull them up short and let them go. But when you're riding in split reins, it's much harder to run up them and let go quick enough. So because I want to ride with longer reins, I will use my right hand and do that, and then let go immediately and release the horse. The only thing you want to be careful of is that builds muscle memory in you that you can do that. And I've seen many a non-pro go to the horse show and grab a hold of the reins with their right hand because they've done it so frequently at home. So as your horse gets broker and as you get better, wean yourself of that habit before you go show so that you don't do it when you are showing.